Hey, it's Bill. And you're tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show, featuring the best unsigned rock and metal that Pennsylvania has to offer, right here on PARockshow.com, megarockradio.net, and 107.1 FM, St. Louis, Missouri, altrockradio.ca in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, rootaroораdio.com in, I always forget this one, in, yep, it's going to be that kind of night. Rootaroo Radio in Ocean Beach, San Diego, California. XRP Radio in Birmingham, United Kingdom. That's awesome. xrpradio.co.uk. And right here in the thriving metropolis of Leechburg, Pennsylvania, buildthescene.com/radio. This is episode number 598 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. With me tonight are the three gentlemen from the band, the Lowlife Drifters. What's up, guys?
Not much, Billy. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I need to slow down, though, because I can't even get through my intro. So, as we were talking off the air, Jimmy has been on the show before. Keith and Chuck are going to get a little trial by fire here tonight. And I think I'm going to start off with I'm going to call it a relatively new question because it's within its first year of being asked. When you're in year 17, you have lots of questions that make their way through the show. But if you were like, Tiz Shear in the chat room, I'm going to stop and make that announcement. Tiz Shear hanging out with us in the chat, the owner of XRP Radio, hanging out in Birmingham, United Kingdom right now, where it's about 2:41 in the morning.
All right, welcome.
Anyway, so where we're going to start is we're going to start off at a crossroads, like Mr. Johnston in the blues scene. If you were standing at a crossroads waiting for the devil to show up, what would you be there to sell your soul to him for?
This is funny because we wrote a song about this.
Perfect.
Is this scripted?
No, called Chasing the Devil, and it's all about a guy going to the crossroads to sell his soul for rock and roll, and he wants the guitar that Robert Johnson had. So I would say I want Robert Johnson's guitar, so I'm going to the crossroads for that.
Oh, I don't know. Jeez, what would I sell my soul to the devil for? Well, I guess Rock and Roll Glory would be pretty good. Some 45 minutes of fame would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of a blues guy down in my soul. I play in another band. I play harmonica in a blues band, so probably be my soul for fame, blues fame, and rockabilly fame.
It's all about rock and roll.
Yeah, all about the music.
A few years ago, I was in Chicago, which Tiz's fiance lives there. But I was in Chicago, and Buddy Guy lives there. He has a restaurant called Buddy Guy's Legends. And if you've never been there, that's a stop you have to make. It's really cool. It's literally you walk in, and his Grammys are sitting there in a display case, like right inside the doors. It kind of looks like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or the Hard Rock. There's guitars hanging everywhere. And I was sitting with my brother eating lunch, and there was a guy on stage playing acoustic blues. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been there twice. Awesome place.
I was hoping that Buddy was going to come downstairs because he actually lives upstairs, but I didn't get to meet him. So I do this to Tiz all the time. I hang out in his chat room when he's live, and I make him ask questions, and he sent one. So I'm going to go ahead and return the favor. Okay. He says, if you could eradicate any genre of music from the planet, what would it be? And you're not allowed to be lame and say all music influences other than the music that that you like because you like it all?
Barbershop, right away. Barbershop.
Oh man, I like barbershop.
Sorry, barbershop. Barbershop drives me insane.
Ah, man.
I'd have to go with rap. I just, sampling somebody else's music and using auto tune and rhyming words. I mean, yeah, there's talent there, but I just don't get it. It's just not for me.
Anything that's like Taylor Swift and that kind of genre. Yeah. Gone, please.
I feel like I should answer that too. I'm not used to other people asking questions on my show. Wow, I don't know what genre. Let me think. This is probably gonna get me a lot of hate. Modern country.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
I feel like it's really just pop music. And
It's pop music with hip hop.
And us being rockabilly, we're so close to the early outlaw country style. It just, to me, the pop country isn't even country.
No. If it ain't Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, or Merle Haggard, forget it.
Well, we were just talking about that a couple of weeks ago at practice about the new country and how it's basically snapping finger track, clap tracking, and bad lyrics with a little bit of mandolin or fiddle thrown in to give it that country
twang.
To be able to call it country.
And the rest of it, if you took that mandolin or fiddle out and some of the twangy lyrics, it would just be some bad R&B.
Or very bad pop.
Yeah, or very bad pop. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I've been saying the modern stuff was pop for a while now, and then the other day, my daughter, who used to swear that she hated country, was singing country in the backseat of the car, and that's when I knew that I was right. Because everything else she listens to is pop.
Yeah, get rid of modern country. I agree with you.
If, let's say you guys are out on tour, and for some reason I'm driving the tour bus, what music am I going to be playing in between tour stops for you?
Motorhead.
Yeah.
Motorhead.
Motorhead.
I like that. And I like to listen to a lot of the psychobilly stuff. Just
the Meteors.
And the punkabilly. The stuff that just has so much. I don't even know how to explain it. It just gets me going.
Oh, some Willie Nelson too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Throw some Willie Nelson in there.
Yep.
Shotgun Willie, the whole album.
Hey, I'll even we would play Bob Wills and Texas Playboys, man.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good stuff there.
I'm going to mention an artist real quick that I occasionally mention on the show, and usually nobody knows, but Johnny Horton.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Battle of New Orleans. And,
yes, yeah, man, good stuff.
North to Alaska. Didn't he do that too?
Yeah,
that was him.
Yeah,
my dad used to have that on cassette and he used to play it all the time in the car. I introduced it to some seventh graders a couple years ago. I was like, wait a minute, we were learning about the War of 1812. I was like, you have to hear this.
Right.
They all went home and played it for their parents.
Yeah, but was he not a history teacher? Wasn't he a teacher?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he was a teacher, and he wrote. I may be wrong, but from what I remember, he was a school teacher, and he wrote Battle of New Orleans as a sort of like a history lesson. I could be wrong. I could really be wrong on that, but for some odd reason, I'm remembering that. So.
Well, Steve Harris of Iron Maiden does the same thing. He writes a lot of songs based on history, the Trooper and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tiz has another question for you guys, and I probably didn't mention to you that if you're on a computer, there's a button that says comments, and if you click on it, you can follow along. And I'm going to go ahead and ask this. It's different. Um, if you could wear any famous person's face as a mask, in effect being able to pretend to be them, who would it be and why? But bear in mind, you would be skinning this person's face, so they probably wouldn't survive.
Oh man.
What?
I think Tiz has been practicing because I asked my oddball questions on his show.
I'm gonna say Lemmy, man. I love Lemmy. You know, I would want to be Lemmy. He lived the life. He was a total rock star. You know, the whole sex, drugs, rock and roll. That was Lemmy, man. So I'd say Lemmy. Although I would not want to skin Lemmy alive, though.
Yeah. I was gonna say Lemmy, but since you did, I'm gonna go with let's see. Trying to think probably Bill Black from Elvis's band. You know, he was with the slapping upright before DJ Fontana. You know, when they didn't have drums and he was slapping out the rhythms, and since he's already gone, you know, we don't have to worry about skinning him alive.
I honestly can't think of anybody. I wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to skin anybody's face that I like. So I can't really think of wanting to walk around in somebody's skin that I don't like. So I'm going to cop out. I'm going to cop out and not answer that question.
I'm going to throw a caveat on this. Didn't they make a movie called Face Off where Travolta and Cage traded faces?
Yeah.
They both survived.
Yeah.
And Lemmy would survive. He would have survived.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, so Chuck brought up Elvis, which means I have to tell a story, Jimmy. I'm sorry. See if you remember. I think you did.
Oh, I do.
All right, so back in 2000, so 21 years ago, I was doing my first subbing as a teacher, and I ended up in Jimmy's classroom, didn't realize it. And I have this thing about cardboard cutouts that freaks me out because my brother used to have one when we were kids, and I used to wake up in the middle of the night and Jeff Bodine would be staring at me, the NASCAR racer. So like anytime I see a cardboard cutout, I can't. And I'm in Jimmy's room and there's a cardboard cutout of Elvis in the back of his classroom. And I made it about halfway through the day. And I finally walked back there and I spun him around. And the kids yelled at me, and then they told on me the next day.
Yes, it was one of those like 6-foot Elvis cutouts when he was in the gold lame suit. You know, yeah. One of my kids at the time bought it for me. So,
but that's cool.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, he was staring at me. I couldn't take it. I don't think at that point that I put two and two together about. Like it was a few years later that I realized that you were who you were. But let's see. All right, an apocalyptic event. Or let me try that again. Apocalyptic event happens. And it wipes out almost all the humans on the face of the earth. There's a handful of people left. One song from every band survives. Which Lowlife Drifters song should survive and help repopulate the earth?
Wow.
It's gonna end up being me.
Yeah. Yeah, because that one actually will repopulate the earth.
It will, exactly. It will.
Yeah, it's got to be that one.
Yeah.
And that's the one that you're going to debut tonight, right?
Yes.
A little bit later?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
That's actually a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. This question evolved out of a question at a in service, Jimmy. So you can blame it on social studies teachers. If you could go back to any time in the history of the world and follow any band around for a year just to hang out with them and learn from them, who you're going to follow around and why?
You want to go first, Jimmy?
Yeah. At any time period, right? Go back I would say I've always said this. I'd like to go back to the year 1956 when rock and roll started. Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Little Richard, Gene Vincent, and just like follow those guys around on tour. Because I'm, the $1 Million Quartet, Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash, all that stuff. So following those guys around would be cool, I think. And you would definitely learn, and and definitely would be probably a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think for me it would be that same era with, Bill Black, Dorsey Burnett, and the other rockabilly upright bass players that were like slapping out the rhythms and just holding down the bass all at the same time. It was just they didn't have drummers back then. They were just doing everything with it was typically electric guitar, an acoustic guitar, and an upright bass.
I think I would end up wanting to follow Led Zeppelin, like in their insane heyday of giant concerts and booming drums and backstage antics and everything else. I think that would be, I've traveled around in a van with bands, so I don't need to say I would really like to check out what it was like to be with the Ramones, because I think that half the people that do this already know what it was like to be in, they know what it's like to be stuck in a van. So I think it would be a lot of fun to experience, that whole huge scene of, just mayhem and overindulgence, just to see that. So, Zeppelin.
So Tiz, as I mentioned earlier, is the owner of XRP Radio, and he's telling me to tell you guys to submit your music to his station.
Okay,
Tiz, we definitely will. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you send us an address or something, we'll send you out some merch, man, on us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will. When the show ends, I'll send you the link with the video that shows you how to submit the music to his station.
Okay, cool.
All right, great.
Thanks, Tiz.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's see here. So back in the early days, I used to put bands on the spot and ask them to pick their favorite venue. And looking back on it, that wasn't real fair of me because you kind of burn bridges that way. And I had another question that I started to ask recently, and I kind of merged the two of them. And this way, it gets you out of the upsetting a venue as far as playing music there, but it may make them decide to change their menu. What's your favorite venue that you've played based on food and beverages that you've had there?
Oh, that's easy. Gooski's in Polish Hill, because it's always a really fun place to play. There's always a good crowd there. And their cheese sticks and halushki are really surprisingly good for a little neighborhood punk rock bar. Have the cheese sticks after you play, because you don't want to have them before you play. But they're still really top-notch cheese sticks. So my vote's Gooski's.
For me, it's probably either Spiel's Tavern in New Alexandria. I mean, it's just that place is 100% about music, and you go in there and you're going to have a good crowd, and the crowd's going to be into music, and they got some really good chicken wings and other food. Every time I go in there, being a harp player too, I go in there and I eat chicken wings, and I go out to my van and I brush my teeth afterwards so I don't load up my harmonicas with chicken wings.
They have the cigar box guitar museum there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they do, and it's awesome. It's just great people. Same thing with Moondogs. Just great people running the place. It's all about the music, and it's they're not there trying to make a ton off the bands. They're just they support music, live music, and original stuff, and they're just 100% good people.
The Rim in Norton, West Virginia. My boys haven't experienced it. Hopefully they will. We've played there a number of times with Dragline, and you want to talk about Southern hospitality? The first time we played down there, they put a spread out in their garage. Chicken, ham, pasta. I mean, it was a full-on spread for the bands. They fed us for free. We got paid. They were crazy music fans. I mean, the place was packed. Small little place. Brad Smith and his wife Amy do bands justice. They get bands out on tour. The Cheats have played there. I can't say enough good things about the Rim in Norton, West Virginia. Bands out there, you need to go down and play in Norton, West Virginia. It's only 2.5 hours. I'm telling you right now, you'll come back and say, that's the best damn place you ever played.
Let's go.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to go.
So Metallica is played in Antarctica. Kiss is played under the ocean to sharks. What off the wall place would you like to play?
Man,
This could be anywhere.
For me, I think some of the the places in Europe that Rockabilly and Psychobilly and Punkabilly is huge. It's people really, it's well received, and to me that would be great. Not even to go there for the money, just to go there for camaraderie and the fans that actually love Rockabilly.
I'm going to say the Great Wall of China. I can picture the three of us playing on the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, why not?
I'm going to say like the top of a mountain or glacier where everybody's skiing, snowboarding, and, just basically at the top of the mountain. So
plus in my houseboat, we got to do that next summer.
we're going to do that too.
Just play on the houseboat, and whoever likes it, and whoever doesn't, so what? It'll be fun.
Water is considered international, right? You can do whatever you want out there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Not necessarily this band, but it can be this band. I want to hear about an embarrassing moment that happened on stage, but you can't tell me about something that you did to embarrass the band that you were in. You have to tell me something somebody else in the band did that embarrassed you while you were playing.
Well, the three of us only played one live gig, so there wasn't too much embarrassment there.
You don't have to name names or bands. You can just tell the situation.
I used to play with a fella that used to he used to imbibe a little much before we went on stage, and occasionally he would more or less get his fingers stuck in the guitar, and it would make for a difficult show. And so there were times that he and I would actually I'd throw drumsticks at him if I thought it was really bothersome. And half the time when those kind of shows happened, as soon as I'd come off stage, somebody would go, "Man, that was the best show you guys ever had." And I'd go, "Jesus, I hated it." But yeah, that's a perfect example. The guitar player just drinking a bit too much.
I did a show. I was in a band for several years back in the 80s and early 90s. And our drummer, when we were playing at a club in Indiana that we were about 11 feet in the air of the stage, he said no one could see him and he was going to play naked. And one day we're playing and he's yelling my name. And I turned around and he showed me he was playing naked. And it did embarrass me. And I thought it was actually kind of cool that nobody in the whole room knew that he was playing naked. But we almost didn't get paid at the end of the night when the club owner heard that he might have been playing naked.
Bill, I can't seriously think of any embarrassing moment. Well, way back The Midnight Plowboys. We played the Rock Room.
I was trying to remember the name of that band.
Yeah, Midnight Plowboys. We played the Rock Room, and we definitely indulged a lot before we went on to play. But our drummer completely could not keep time with any songs. Every song was a train wreck. I mean, the train was derailed from song one, and by the time at the end, it was just a pile of just a mess. And that was probably the worst gig that I've ever played. That the rest of the band, the singer, bass player, myself, we were all good, and the drummer was just completely falling apart. But lo and behold, we got asked back, and we came back and we did redeem ourselves and play a good show.
I think I have some music from the Midnight Plowboys still.
Well, if you don't, I do.
I actually remember the first time I heard of that band. You were featured in A Keg, the Ali Kiski Entertainment Guide.
That little music mag. Yeah. And actually, one of the songs I gave you, "Big Train," was a Plowboy song that we did a little. We didn't do it very much, but we did so. But the Drifters do it way better.
Yeah. Let's go with one more question, and then we'll talk about the song you're debuting. Let's see. What's one thing you love about the music scene, and one thing that you would change?
You mean the Pittsburgh area music scene?
Mm-hmm.
I would change. I would make sure that there's more places where original bands can play, and not just punk bands, because it seems like the only venues around Pittsburgh that are doing original stuff, it's either sort of crust punk, hard rock, harder rock type stuff. You're not going to find a whole lot of bars that, if you wanted to play some good country, or you even wanted to do some pop or something like that, there's no place in Pittsburgh that, if you're a pop-minded musician, that you're going to be able to go and say, I have 15 songs that I would like to play. Where can I play? And then just go, nobody knows who you are. Go away. That's what I would change. It's just, there's no place for original music aside from punk and hard rock in Pittsburgh. And those places are, I wouldn't say far and few between, but COVID's made it even harder. But it's a select group of bars and places that an original band can play comfortably. So that's what I would change.
I agree with Keith. More places for original music and less places for tribute bands.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm guilty of being in a AC/DC tribute band back around 90. But back then, we did the whole thing when we had the props, and we looked like them, and we did the moves like them. And it just seems like now there's so many tribute bands that plop on some wigs and go out and play badly, and they're playing they're playing bigger clubs than original music. And it's kind of it's kind of sad to see that that's what's seems to be getting the attention. There's
Exactly.
so many great original bands in Pittsburgh, and of all kinds of genres, and it's just a shame that nobody knows who they are, because everybody's going to hear tribute bands.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the song you're going to debut, the EP that you guys just finished, and I don't know if I can say this yet, but you guys were recording just yesterday too, right?
We were in the studio Saturday. Razorblade Recordings. Fans, go see Johnny. He's the man. I'm telling you right now.
Johnny is the man. I mean,
yeah.
I have my own studio, and I learned so much from Johnny Razorblade. He's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the coolest guys, low key, man, and professional 100%. So If you want to record, go see John.
Yeah, you go into that place and it's, it makes you feel at home. It's not like a bunch of nerves, like I got to get this right. It's so low key, and he's a magician with music. I mean, he just really knows how to record.
Yeah,
he lets you play through, and he doesn't necessarily stop. He doesn't stop you and go, you guys got out of tempo, or somebody made a little mistake. Like he lets you roll through, and then if there were mistakes, he would go, okay, that was a little bad. Let's do it again and see if we can do that better. So instead of like just cutting it and coming in on the headphones and going, nope, Jimmy made a mistake, or Keith clicked the stick wrong, or whatever. He just lets you go, and that actually just removes a lot of the tension from recording. Because as soon as somebody goes, okay, go, everybody gets a little red light fever and freaks out. But Johnny kind of smooths that over and just lets you roll with how you play. So makes it nice, makes it easy.
Yeah.
So.
And the Cheats record there, and their stuff sounds amazing. His own band, Johnny and the Razor Blades. I mean, seriously, if you want to go record, go see Johnny at Razor Blade Recordings
and check out their stuff too.
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
Johnny and the Razor Blades, their harmonies. I mean, they're just a great band.
Yeah. So it's going to end up being me. You want to know a little bit about that song, huh?
Yeah, that's all you, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm not in that.
Originally, it started out as my other band, Dragline. Started out as a Dragline song, and we rehearsed it a couple times, and then it didn't go anyplace. So I brought it to the table with Chuck and Keith, and we went through it, and they dug it, and they liked the words. It's kind of, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to offend.
PG-13, please.
Well, yeah. I mean, it has to deal with definitely a girl, which is booze won't kill me, drugs won't kill me, but women would be my demise. It's all about a girl who she's a full-figured young lady who is looking to find herself a nice young man to marry and whatever else happens.
To repopulate the earth to a Lowlife Drifter song.
To definitely repopulate the earth. Right. This would be the song to do it with. So I'm just going to stop there. Off the camera, off the interview, Bill, I will definitely give you all the deets. And hopefully you will just keep it to yourself. I think there's other than Chuck and Keith, our one buddy, John Stawitzki, he knows the story. So, and if you ever met John, he's quite a character, and he's a big fan of the music scene, big supporter. He knows the whole story, and he loved it. So, I play the song, and some people might they'll be able to.
While we're mentioning John Stawitzki, I mean he's a guy that his what is his group called? The Steel City Destroyers.
Yes.
They do a lot to keep the original music scene going, and the punk and the rockabilly and the rock and everything. They're just great guys, and they raise a lot for charity, and they're got to give a shout out to them.
Yeah. And one other place too, Chuck. They talk, the Steel City Destroyers out of Porky's Bar and Grill down there, and Josh at the Subalpine in Turtle Creek. He's another guy, man. That's another guy.
Yeah, we can't say enough about those guys. I mean,
who
great
really
guys.
Who really takes care of the bands, promotes original music. So those two places. I tip my hat to them, because every time I've played there, always been treated, like you're a rock star.
I'm actually glad you brought Josh up. He's part of First Angel Media, which I am also. And I was supposed to do a photo shoot on Friday, and Friday was the end, like my quarantine ended Thursday. And I made a choice that I wasn't going to do the photo shoot for the band Friday because I had a feeling that I was going to be tired having taught. And I was. And Jonna was supposed to go and cover for me, but she got stuck in traffic. And with a 5-minute leadway, Josh went and started to cover the show until Jonna got there, which was awesome of him. So I want to throw a thank you out to him as well.
Well, that's Josh and Lily too.
Yes,
yeah, she's awesome too.
That's Lily V6.
Lily
you
V6,
can find
exactly.
you can find on Rock Rage Radio on Thursdays with I can't remember the name of her show now, but it's Thursdays on Rock Rage Radio.
Right.
All right, so we're gonna take a minute. We're gonna listen to the Lowlife Drifters song. It's gonna end up being me. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
And we will be right back with some more questions for them.
All right.
All right. So people that are listening live for the first time, you don't get to hear the song right now. You'll have to wait until Friday morning when I post it on buildascene.com. And then it is played on all those stations I mentioned at the beginning of the show throughout the week. You can find the times for that also on buildascene.com. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back in as if we listen to that song. You know what I want to do real quick before I come back in? I want to see if I have any Midnight Cowboys stuff. Let me look real quick. I know I used to.
If you do, play the song Killer Pussy. That's the best one.
I do not. I wonder what I did with it. I know I used to.
Well, I'll get some stuff together and I'll send it to you.
Okay. See, usually I play 2 songs here in the break, so I need to let me think. I could play the cheats.
Play the cheats. Play something off the new cheats. Yep.
I play Cussing, Crying, and Carrying It On.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Let me get you guys back up on my screen. What am I doing? People watching live now are going, what is he doing? This is how this goes. Okay, here we go. Hey, that was the cheats, Cussing, Crying, and Carrying On. And right before that, you heard the Lowlife Drifters. It's going to end up being me. The Lowlife Drifters are with me currently tonight on the show. If you're just tuning in, you missed like 25 minutes of me asking them oddball questions and then pretending like it wasn't hard to answer.
Tiz had the best questions.
Well, the reason I'm telling you, he practiced because I do that to him. He has a show called Tagged on Saturdays, and occasionally he'll bring in a live interview and he'll open up. Anybody have any questions in the chat room? And I'll ask like the question about song that's gonna survive and help repopulate the earth. And the British have different sense of humor than we do, so it.
Yeah, the face-off question was a bit. That was.
That one was. Yeah, I may have to keep that one.
You need to use that for future interviews, Bill.
There was a question years ago that I used to ask. I'm not going to do it on the air live, but I'll tell you guys off it because back when I first started the show in 2004, I wasn't so much thinking about my job because I just started my job then. and never thought, well, I might say something that could be a problem. That question would be. So off the air. But I will say that it came from the band Step 11. And I don't know if you remember them, but you remember Wally from Scale?
Yeah.
Who recently passed away. He was the lead singer of the band Step 11. And the question is, I'll tell you later. This is like the official build a scene question. I started asking this a couple years ago. Ultimately, my goal was to get Dave Grohl to come on my show. So I tried to figure out a way that I could keep him in the show. Even though he's completely ignoring me and his management never returned my email and I tag him and nobody ever responds. But anyway, if you had the chance to go up on stage with any band and play one of their songs, who would be your Dave Grohl? In other words, who are you going up on stage with?
Do they have to be alive?
No.
Ace of Spades with Lemmy and Motorhead.
For me, it'd be David Bowie. David Bowie, just like everything he did, I was into. So, I mean, and he changed everything all the time. So it'd have to be Bowie.
The Clash. Definitely the Clash. I want to go on stage with the Clash. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to take a commercial break here for a moment. Wolf's Customs in the house. Chris Thunderwolf Dotson. He is a sponsor of Build a Scenes radio station. They do custom finishes on instruments. They have a custom finish they call Hollow Flash, which is kind of, this is the best way I describe it. You know, when oil mixes with water and you see that like shiny rainbow look in the water?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Imagine that on an instrument, and that's what he's doing.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
And then his wife does custom painting on instruments as well. So Raven and Chris are out there at Wolf's Customs. It's wolfscustoms.online if anyone would be interested in checking out their finishes and getting something done up as as Lou Lombardi from the Ludini Rock and Roll Circus says, you don't want to go up on stage with a plain, boring instrument. Go see Chris and Raven and get it finished and go up there with some pizzazz.
Perfect.
See, I did 2 commercials in one. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Ludini Rock and Roll Circus, but it is a show that Lily is on.
Right.
She's a co-host. It's out of Connellsville and it's on Rock Rage Radio as well. They record on Monday nights, so I usually try not to record on too many Mondays now,
Right.
because I like to go and listen to their show. But
Right.
Anyway, I'm sure Chris was listening to it and just hopped over here when it ended, looking at the timestamp. All right, so you're walking down the street. You walk past a DeLorean that just happens to have its door open. Nobody's around, and there's a flux capacitor in it.
Where are we going?
Where are you going and why?
Jeez.
I'm going to London to watch the Beatles perform on the rooftop. That's where I'm going.
Oh, man. I don't know where I would go. I probably, like Keith had mentioned earlier about, going to see, Zeppelin. I think I would go back to when Zeppelin was in like he said, in their heyday and see them. In 1980, I had tickets to go see them when they're coming to Pittsburgh, but then John Bonham passed away and never got that chance. So definitely, I would definitely want to go back and see Led Zeppelin. Jimmy Page is one of my favorite guitar players.
I'd go back. Let's see. I saw Muddy Waters in '79, and that's what got me into blues. And I saw the Stray Cats early on in their career, and I bought an upright bass after I saw them. So I'm guessing I'd go back to that time, early Stray Cats, late '70s, early '80s.
Jay Zanotti hanging out in chat room as well. I don't know if he's
JJ, what's up?
Hi, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
He's not going back too far in time.
He's going to the 31st Street Pub, which is awesome, man.
Legendary Pittsburgh.
Oh man, one of the probably the greatest venue that Pittsburgh ever had was the pub.
Yeah, that was a nice.
Yeah,
place.
it's sad to be gone.
Yeah, and Joel was awesome.
Let's see. I'm gonna give you guys one more oddball question, and then we'll bring it back in and rein it in a little bit and kind of tie things up and let you go for the evening. But if let me think. See, I'm still thinking about that step 11 question, and I'm even questioning if I should say it off the air.
Sure.
I haven't asked this one in a while. This is a tough one. So maybe as a group, you can answer this one.
All right.
I want you to think about the local scene, the musicians that are in it, and I want you to create a all-star band that none of you are allowed to play in, that you would only be able to manage. Who would you put in the band?
All right. I'll take bass player. I would nominate putting Metal Mary that plays in the Mud City Manglers, and she used to play in Behind Enemy Lines as the bass player in the band. And then
Todd Porter, lead singer.
I'd probably go with let's see, the Hucklebucks, and then also the let me see, the it's hard. Man, that's a hard question. Borstal Boys. Combination of the two of those.
Put the Hucklebucks. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'd put Ted and Todd together, dual lead singers. You get a 1-2 punch with those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ted
and the
Todd.
Borstal Boys. You know
that kind of is an all-star band already.
Yeah, that's a great band.
Matt Ferrandi on drums. He's already in about 16 bands. Put him in another one.
No, he's in like 27 bands.
I once saw him probably back in 2005. I was putting on a show with Diana from AKEG. We were doing an end of summer jam at Cook's place. And I was trying to get Doppler Effect back together, and they didn't have a drummer at the time. And I had done their website for a while, and they're like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll figure something out. Well, they show up. Matt comes without practicing with them, sits down, plays their whole original set with them.
Oh. He's one hell of a drummer. I mean,
yeah, he is.
I mean, he wouldn't be playing in all those bands if he wasn't that good.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure.
Okay, so let's kind of tie things up here. What do you guys have coming up besides the stuff you're recording?
Yeah, we finished up 3 more songs last Saturday. We're waiting on artwork, and once we get that, then we're going to put the CD together, get it out. As far as shows go, I know for sure we are playing the Sub on Friday night, March 11th. We opened the show. I think there's a couple other bands. I don't know who they are yet. They haven't nailed down all the bands yet, but we are definitely on that show for March 11th. After that, we'll play anywhere.
We'll play we have some stuff coming up for Arnold, the Band Blast, and the Memorial Park. We're going to be playing those gigs. I think we have some other stuff coming up, but we don't have it all buttoned in yet. So probably got about 5 or 6 shows coming up fairly soon.
But if you want us to play, we will play.
Yeah. No.
How can they get a hold of you? That's the next question. Which is
there's a link on the website.
Yeah.
There's a contact link. send an email to that.
And the video, that link is right below Chuck, but it's lowlifedrifters.com.
Right.
Yeah, and we'll get that, and we just love to play. So let us know what you got.
Yep.
That just sounded like Big House Pete.
You'll probably find us on Facebook.
That's my buddy Paul.
Yeah, you'll find us on Facebook.
We got some stuff coming up, I think, with Up Metal Harley in the summer as well, and some car shows. So we just don't have dates yet.
Yeah.
And all that information will be up on the website once you get it, right?
Exactly.
Website and the Facebook page. Yeah, definitely.
Hi, guys. I want to thank you for hanging out with me on episode 598.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Billy.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Bill.
Yeah. And Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
So what you guys are going to hear next is some more of the best unsigned rock and metal that Pennsylvania has to offer. You are also going to hear from John American Hill Jack Lane. When you hear his voice, you'll know that means the show has ended, but that doesn't mean to leave the station that you've been listening on. Those stations have been supporting unsigned and independent music. So go ahead and give them some support and hang out and listen to the other songs that they're going to play for you. My name has been Bill, and I will catch you next Friday on buildthescene.com on the Pennsylvania Rock Show, and 1st and 15th of each month on 3 Questions and a Song. And hopefully someday soon we'll get another friendly fire scheduled with Tiz and Kat from XRP Radio. And I will announce that once we get that figured out. We didn't do it last month because they had a radiothon where they went for like 4 days solid of live. This month, Christmas just kind of screwed things up. So it'll probably be January. We'll get that information out to you as soon as we can. Just keep an eye on buildthescene.com, First Angel Media, and also go to lowlifedrifters.com, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Billy.